Hi friends, happy Wednesday. I hope you guys are having a really great day so far. It's kind of gloomy out. I'm hoping that the sun comes out because I want to take the dogs out for a walk, but it'll be less fun if it's cloudy. So I'm here to read another couple chapters of Dinosaurs Before Dark, which is the Magic Treehouse series, the first book. Now, if you remember, the last time we read, Jack and Annie had just found the Magic Treehouse and noticed that it was full of books. And they opened a book about dinosaurs, and there was a Pteranodon. I'm looking back to see in the book. Yep, it was a Pteranodon that Jack had found, and the treehouse was spinning, 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 and then everything stopped. And that's where we left off. So we are on chapter 3, which is called Where is Here? And has a question mark there. It's a question. Where is here? They don't know where they are. So let's find out what happens next. Jack looked out the window. He looked down at the picture in his book. He looked back out the window. The world outside and the world in the picture, they were exactly the same. The Pteranodon was soaring through the sky. The ground was covered with ferns and tall grass. There was a winding stream, a sloping hill, and volcanoes in the distance. Where are we? Stammered Jack. The Pteranodon glided down to the base of their tree. The creature coasted to a stop and stood very still. What happened to us? Asked Annie. She looked at Jack. He looked at her. I don't know, said Jack. I was looking at a picture in the book, and you said, wow, I wish I could see a Pteranodon for real, said Annie. Yeah, then we saw one in the Frog Creek woods. Remember, Frog Creek is where they live, so in Pennsylvania. Yeah, and then the wind got loud and the treehouse started spinning, said Annie. And we landed here, said Jack. And we landed here, said Annie. So that means, said Jack. So that means what? Said Annie. Nothing, said Jack. He shook his head. None of this can be real. Annie looked out the window again. But he's real. He's very real. Jack looked out the window with her. The Pteranodon was standing at the base of the giant oak tree, like a guard. His wings were giant and spread out on either side of him. Hi! Annie shouted. Shh! Said Jack. We're not supposed to be here. But where is here? Said Annie. I don't know, said Jack. Hi! Annie called to the creature again. The Pteranodon looked up at them. Where is here? Annie called down. You're nuts. He can't talk, said Jack. But maybe the book can tell us something. Jack looked down at the book. He read the words under the picture. So in the book, there are some different words. They're smaller and they're in a bold print, which means that they're darker than the other words. And that is the caption under the picture in the book that Jack is reading. A caption is a little teeny bit of information about the picture. So let's see what the caption says. This flying reptile lived in the Cretaceous period. It vanished 65 million years ago. The Cretaceous period? What does that mean? No, impossible. They couldn't have landed in time 65 million years ago. Jack, said Annie, he's nice. Nice? Yeah, I can tell. Let's go down and talk to him. Talk to him? Annie started down the rope ladder. Hey! Shouted Jack, but Annie kept going. Are you crazy? Jack called. Annie dropped to the ground. She stepped boldly up to the ancient creature. And here is a picture of Annie climbing down that ladder and the Pteranodon being very patient and waiting for her. And that's the end of chapter 3. Now we're going to start chapter 4. Chapter 4 is called Henry. Henry, we have Jack and we have Annie. We have a Pteranodon, but who is Henry? I guess we'll have to read to find out. Jack gasped as Annie held out her hand. Oh, brother, she was always trying to make friends with animals, but this was going too far. Thumbs up if you would try and make a friend with a dinosaur. Thumbs down if you would be like Jack and stay in the treehouse away from any danger. Oh, I see a lot of brave friends out there. Wow, lots of my friends say they would go down and meet him. I don't know what I would do. I'm kind of undetermined. It depends on how scary the dinosaur looked. So if it was like a T-Rex, no way, Jose. I would not get out of the treehouse. Maybe I might go down and see if it's a Pteranodon. I might be a thumbs up. I'm not sure. Don't get too close to him, Annie, Jack shouted. But Annie touched the Pteranodon's crest. Remember we talked about the crest? You can kind of see it. I think you can see it better in this picture. This right here, this is the crest. So it's an extra bone that's growing out of his skull, and it's covered in his skin and his scales, because he's a scaly dinosaur, which we don't have them, but some birds have them. I think that there are some other reptiles. I think that there are probably some lizards that have a crest, but it's just like an extra piece of his skull, kind of like my hair right now, but it's made of bone. Annie reached out and touched the Pteranodon's crest. She stroked his neck. She was talking to him. What in the world was she saying? Jack took a deep breath. Okay, he would go down too. It would be good to examine the creature. That means to study him, to look closely, to observe him, to take notes. Be a scientist. Jack started down the rope ladder. When he got to the ground, Jack was only a few feet away from the creature. The creature stared at Jack. His eyes were bright and alert. He's soft, Jack, said Annie. He feels like Henry. Jack snorted. Who do you think Henry is? That gave us a clue. So she's petting him. Annie says she's petting this Pteranodon. And she's told us that he's soft and he feels like Henry. So I'm going to think for a minute. Who might she know that is soft and that she pets, and his name is Henry? Tell me who you think it is. Oh, maybe it's her pet. Maybe it's a cat or a dog. Maybe it's her uncle. Maybe. That's possible. I don't know. Oh, that's possible. Okay. All right. You guys have a lot of good answers. He's soft, said Annie. He feels like Henry, Jack snorted. He's no dog, Annie. Feel him, Jack, said Annie. He's a dog. Henry's a dog. Some of you got it. Yeah. Jack didn't move. Don't think, Jack. Just do it. Jack stepped forward. He put his arm out very cautiously. Slowly. He's afraid. He brushed his own hand down the creature's neck. Interesting. A thin layer of fuzz covered the Pteranodon's skin. Fuzz? I thought he was a reptile. I thought reptiles were scaly. Why do you think he's fuzzy? I don't know. Soft, huh? Said Annie. Jack reached into his backpack and pulled out a pencil and a notebook. He wrote, fuzzy skin. Look at Jack's handwriting. He's got fuzzy skin. There's that F, and I see 2 Z's. Do the fuzzy in there. What are you doing? Asked Annie. Taking notes, said Jack. We're probably the first people in the whole wide world to ever see a real Pteranodon. Jack looked at the Pteranodon again. The creature had a bony crest on the top of his head. The crest was longer than Jack's arm. I wonder how smart he is, Jack asked. Very smart, said Annie. Don't count on it, said Jack. His brain's probably no bigger than a bean. So is his brain big or small? You're right, beans are pretty small. Brain is probably small. No, he's very smart. I can feel it, said Annie. I'm going to call him Henry. Jack wrote something else in his notebook. Small brain, question mark. And then here is a picture of Jack and Annie and the Pteranodon. So Annie is petting the Pteranodon's neck. Here is again the picture of the crest. And see, I guess I could see why Jack might say that he would have a small brain, but I think I agree with Annie that he's probably pretty smart. And if you look very closely, you can see Jack is writing and drawing something in his notebook. He is being a scientist. Jack looked at the creature again. Maybe he's a mutant. A mutant is something that started off as one thing and then mutated or changed to become something else. So it's usually not a very nice word. The creature tilted his head. Annie laughed. He's no mutant, Jack. Well, then what is he doing here then? Where is this place? Said Jack. Annie leaned close to the Pteranodon. Do you know where we are, Henry? She asked softly. The creature fixed his eyes on Annie. That means he was staring at her. His long jaws were opening and closing like a giant pair of scissors. Oh, I'm scared. Are you trying to talk to me, Henry? Asked Annie. Forget it, said Jack as he wrote in his notebook. Mouth like scissors, he asked. Did we come from a long time ago, Henry? Oh, did we come to a long time ago, Henry? Annie asked. Is this a place from long ago? Suddenly, she gasped. Jack! He looked up. Annie was pointing toward the hill. On top stood a huge dinosaur. And that, my friends, is the end of chapter number 4. What kind of dinosaur do you think is going to be up there? I think it's going to be a T-Rex. Or maybe it's going to be a Brontosaurus. Those are the ones with the long necks. Oh, I don't know. I'm so excited. I can't wait to find out. Oh, man, but we'll have to wait until tomorrow to find out what happens next. My friends, I hope you really enjoyed reading this part of the story. I'm putting my tissue right back in the pages so I know where we're going to start tomorrow. And I hope that you guys have fun thinking about this book, speculating about it. That means making predictions and thinking about what might happen next. I really, really, really love reading the Magic Treehouse series, and I hope you are too. I miss you all so much, and I will see you guys again tomorrow. Bye!